Hello friends, welcome back. Today I am sharing a little flip through of a finished traveler's notebook. I sat down with my patrons last week during a live stream and made a bunch of pages in here. I realized we were at the end of January and I had not made a single traveler's notebook spread. So I did a little bit of prep work during the week. I already had this notebook. I had made this with the Born to Bloom collection from Rosie Studios, doing my usual kind of ombre pattern paper technique. It's a beautiful notebook. It's been sitting on my desk, totally unused for the entire month of January. So I sat down, I did 11 sketches, 4 pages, I printed a bunch of photos, I wrote out all of my journaling on clear matte sticker paper, and then I made a few pages on my own, and the majority of them I made with my patrons during our live stream. So this is the finished notebook. It's a little bit chunky. But honestly, that's kind of how I prefer them to make life easier on myself. I did work flat on my desk with like additional paper and then glued all of the spreads in when I was finished. So let's take a wee look through. Like I said, it is a little bit chunky, so I'll try and hold these pages flat for you to see. The first page, I just made a wee marker. I don't necessarily intend to do one notebook for every month in 2024, but this just so happened that I filled this notebook with January photos, so I have just marked the date as January 2024. So my first spread, and I will talk a little bit about what I used, I guess. So this was a kit, a very small kit that I put together from my stash with 6x8 papers. There were a few 6x6 papers, a few embellishments, some alphas, that type of thing. All of it came from my stash. All of it is Studio Calico or Citrus Twist. I did add to it in a few ways, stamps and inks and additional embellishments, that sort of thing, but it gave me a really easy place to start from, so the whole notebook is fairly cohesive looking, and it wasn't necessarily my intention. So this first one here, my guilty pleasure during the month of January was doing a whole lot of nothing, sitting around, sipping coffee, listening to podcasts. That was my guilty pleasure. All I did here was have a pattern paper and my photo. I added a few little embellishments to the side, and then I did some splatter stamps. So they probably look black on camera, but they are actually like a dark green, this guilty pleasure die cut from Citrus Twist. It's not black, it is actually really dark green, so I echoed that with some Catherine Pooler spruce ink. Even though my photo was black and white, I did want to add a little bit more color in here. And this sort of gritty look is one that I repeat several times in this notebook, so it made it really easy. None of these pages was particularly stressful. All of them was super quick. All of them took me less than 20 minutes, 30 minutes to put together. My second kind of tip for these quick traveler's notebook pages is full-sized photos. All of the full-size photos I print on Canon matte photo paper, and the smaller ones are on Canon Photo Glossy 2 paper. I print at home, so it makes it really easy to swap out materials like that. Filling up a whole page with a photo means that you literally only have one side of the spread to do, and that is a very quick process. So I had these alphas from Studio Calico, but I didn't have any more E's. There were only 2 on the sheet. Most of the alphas came from the Documenter kit, so they're quite limited. 2 E's is never enough for me. All I did was take a craft knife and kind of cut around the outside, so I've got sort of an E. It's a little bit different. It is what it is. I was happy with it. I added some pattern paper and some washi tape and a couple of little embellishments, and then instead of ribbon I just doubled over my washi tape so I would have the matching color. For this sunshiny spread, it is summer down here in New Zealand. Although the summer's been a weird one, I've got to say. It's the hottest it's really ever been here that I can remember, and incredibly humid too, which is not really weather that we often get. So there has been a lot of storms, a lot of thunder and lightning, a lot of wind. So when I get a perfectly blue sunny sky like this, it is definitely occasion to take a photo. This time I printed my journaling directly onto the photo. When I had prepped all my photos, I hadn't actually done that. I had just printed the photo as it was, but I didn't want to stick the clear sticker paper onto here. Even though I love that sticker paper, it definitely would have shown like the mark of where it was. So I reprinted the photo. I'm loath to reprint a photo. I hardly ever do it. But I really wanted to do it for this one. I didn't want that outline on there. So I popped my journaling back onto the photo and reprinted it. And on this side, I made kind of a fake envelope. None of it opens. I used brads to hold down these kind of little attaches, and then created a very small cluster down here just to kind of balance out the title on the right hand side. Now my patrons definitely helped me with this page because I had kind of put together this little cluster with Willow. Her face perfectly described how I felt about going back to work after my extended summer break. The colors in the photos kind of dictated the colors on the page, and I struggled a little bit with using the red like this. The flowers were pretty. They didn't have a whole lot to do with Willow apart from bringing in that color. And so I wanted to echo that on this side as well. And they were definitely very helpful in helping me choose how to stamp my title and which colors to use to balance it out. And to be honest, I couldn't love this anymore. I probably wouldn't have got there on my own using the peach and red instead of just the solid red. And so I love how this one turned out. This is my favorite alpha ever. You can tell they're very well loved. The Spencer outline and solid stamps from Citrus Twist. Another full page photo, making life easy for myself. Never thought I would be a Kindle girly. I am a book designer by trade. So I love books, but honestly, I've never read so much since I did get the Kindle for Christmas. So maybe I am changing my spots after all. This page was super easy as well. I had a little bit more journaling than I have on some of the other pages. So I just made this kind of pattern paper cluster. I loved these pattern papers. I can't remember the name. It's from Die Cuts with a View. It's just a 6x6 paper pad, but it's got all of these pretty florals and stripes in there. Added a little embellishments from Citrus Twist, and then because this photo was black and white, I just didn't really love the colors in it, to be honest, so I made it black and white. I echoed that pattern paper down here just to bring a little bit of color over onto this page as well. During our holiday, on the last day of our holiday together, actually, Shane and I went to visit our local museum, and they have on the very top floor a place called the Animal Attic. It is amazing. I mean, the animals, they're kind of creepy and weird, but the architecture in that place is amazing. So it's also very dark, and it was on one of the darkest, stormiest days we had in summer, to be honest. So the photos weren't great quality, but I did want to note that down in my notebook. This is another case of that kind of grid design, putting a photo in and then placing a title in my journaling and filling in the little gaps around that with embellishments and stamps. I did get a little bit brave in this notebook and used some like Nuvo drops in a few different colors. Because I was working flat on my desk, it made it easy to kind of put that spread aside so they dried. There were a few mistakes, but all in all, I kind of like how they turned out. Ease is my word for one little word this year. So this is just a wee spread about that. I think this was the last page that I actually ended up putting together. So I was kind of running out of papers and running out of ideas, running out of steam, to be honest, after putting 11 pages together. I really loved this floral pattern. I didn't have whole pieces, like I only had little bits and bobs left over, so I used my large circle punch to kind of punch as many half circles as I could. I was trying to get 3 across. I just literally didn't have enough of the paper anymore, so I swapped it out for this green, and then to give me my visual triangle, so I was happy with the page, I did go back into my stash and pull out these gold asterisks. There were only 3 left on the chipboard sheet, so that was another win, using up another sheet of chipboard from my stash. And then I used those Nuvo drops again. These are kind of, I think it's this one? No, it's not. Kind of clear, so they've got a different kind of tone when they sit on the green. Orange is not a colour that you see me use often, but these roses in my mother-in-law's garden are just too good not to use a whole lot of orange on this page. This was a paper from Citrus Twist. It was very in your face. I toned it down a little bit by adding this white insert on top of there. I wrapped some orange threads. I don't have a whole lot of kind of ribbons in orange. I wrapped some thread around a lot of times to give me the kind of color that I wanted, and then it's literally just a couple of embellishments on either side. Here's another go at this grid layout. This time I made 3 little clusters of torn paper, added some more of that golden thread, and 2 little die cuts and a puffy sticker. These were from the Crave kit, I think, from Citrus Twist. This was by far the best thing I ate in January. I don't even know the name of it. It was like spicy and not cinnamony, but just, it was like a cinnamon scroll times 100. Just, I haven't stopped thinking about it. I said in my live stream, this scroll lives rent-free in my head now. We got a new couch in January, a lazy boy couch. It is Shane's new favorite thing, so we have entered our lazy boy era. I didn't have a whole lot to say on this page. Like, I've got a little bit of journaling. I stamped a title and added some alphas. And then on this page, it was kind of a bit plain. I had just this wee circle sticker in the middle. So in the end, I went ahead and did some stitching just to give it a little bit of texture and a little bit of detail. This is the last page in the notebook with my little pearly girl. She loves to hide behind our sheer curtains and look out at the world. Both of our cats are indoor cats. We live on a very busy road, and I love them too much. So they are indoor cats, even though they would love to go outside and explore, I'm sure. She will have to make do by looking out the window. She loves to sort of poke herself under the sheer curtains though, so she always looks like she's trying to hide from me. I'm not sure she realizes that we can see straight through. This is kind of a grid layout, except I like narrowed the grid in a little bit so everything runs down in this single column. And then on this side I did that same thing by having the pattern paper with a little bit of white on top to hold my journaling, and a very cute kitten puffy sticker that I have been hoarding for far too many years. So again, another win to stop hoarding my stash. And that's it. That's my notebook. There probably is room for another page at the back, but I never add them in there. I was really happy with how this turned out. I guess I'm going to need to make myself another insert for the next month, or the next month or two anyway. Like I said, I don't intend to do a month every notebook, a notebook every month. But I'm just playing it by ear this year, so if I do, I do. Hey, thanks for watching today, guys. I hope you enjoyed the videos and got some ideas for Traveler's Notebook spreads of your own. I will catch you again really soon. Bye!